Hey guys, you're listening to PureEVil MMA, here with your host, Evil Boy.
And I'm Andrea.
And we're here to give you your weekly MMA updates for this week. Well, a lot of the discussion going around right now after Miesha Tate won the belt over Holly Holm in the bantamweight division. We are talking about what's next. What's next for Miesha Tate? Is Ronda going to step up and fight her? Or is Holly going to be able to be granted that rematch by Dana White? What's your thought on this? I know that, you're not that big of a fan of Ronda, and I understand that Miesha, won the belt now, and everyone was looking for Holly to, defend that title and be everything that they wanted her to be. But now Miesha's got that fight, and Miesha's also lost to Miesha has also lost to Ronda Rousey 2 other times. So what is Dana White? If you're Dana White, what are you going to make next for Miesha Tate?
Well, one, I don't really agree with how Ronda all of a sudden wants to get back into the gym when she found out that Miesha had won the belt against Holly.
Yeah.
But personally, I feel that Ronda and Holly should fight, and the winner should fight Miesha Tate. But I know that that's not really the way that things work, so that fight probably isn't going to happen first. But I think in all fairness that they should fight, and the winner should fight Miesha Tate for the belt.
Well, here's the problem with that, is that, Holly hasn't really defended the title, and you got Ronda there who's defended the title multiple times. So you're saying that you would like to see Holly versus Ronda, and I know a lot of the fans do want to see that fight. But the problem with that is Ronda is defended her belt multiple times. She's lost to Holly.
But she's fought Miesha Tate. She's beat her, twice already?
Why is Ronda going to come back?
So she gets the chance to go and get her belt against the girl that she's already beat twice. I think that in order to get her belt back, she should have to fight the person that took it from her, which is Holly Holm.
No, I do agree with that, and a lot of fans will agree with you on that. But Ronda's not going to come back to fight Holly Holm if she doesn't have the belt. So should we, and this has been a rumor, should Miesha Tate fight Holly Holm for UFC 200? I think so. Ronda's not going to be ready by UFC 200. She just started being able to eat apples after that knockout.
You can't expect everybody to sit and wait for her.
So should Dana give this fight to Holly?
If Ronda's not ready.
If Ronda's not ready?
I would think so. And if Ronda fighting Holly isn't an option, then yeah, I think that would be the best idea.
Well, here's the problem. UFC 100 sold 1.6 million pay-per-views, and we also found out this week that Conor McGregor is going to be fighting Nate Diaz in the second fight now at UFC 200. And like I was just saying, UFC 100 sold 1.6 million pay-per-view buys, and the fight between Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz back at UFC 196 was so close, and they sold 1.5 million pay-per-view sales. And UFC 200 is expected to be, a blowout. They already have, here's who they have announced for UFC 200. You got Conor McGregor versus Diaz. They announced Aldo versus McGregor, but that is not the co-main event. Dana just came out and said that the co-main event is yet to be said, and that when they do announce it, it's going to blow everybody's mind. So definitely good looks on that. After that, they also announced Cain Velasquez versus Travis Brown, Johnny Hendricks versus Gastelum, Gegard Mousasi versus Brunson, Diego Sanchez versus Joel Ozan, and we got Sage also on that card against a not very well-known fighter in Enrique Marin. But here we go. It's Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 2. Is this a good idea for Conor?
A good idea, possibly. I definitely think he has the potential to beat Nate. He did great in their last fight.
In that very first round, they did awesome.
He showed that he can stand up with him.
He was connecting, but he gassed out. That's the problem. And the fight was at 170 pounds. We know that Conor McGregor is a 145-pound champion. And he's just been obsessed with this fight after he lost.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In a good fight, maybe he does have the potential to win, but a fair fight, I don't think it's fair to a lot of other people. Like
Aldo.
Like Aldo definitely deserves a rematch. If not Edgar, I think Aldo should be the one getting this fight against Conor, though. I don't think that Aldo and Edgar should be fighting. I don't think that's a necessary fight. I think that's just prolonging everything. They offered Aldo a fight against Conor at a different weight class.
Yeah, so even if he beat Conor, he wouldn't have won his belt back.
See, yeah, and that's pointless. It seems like they're protecting Conor. If they are to fight, it should be at the 145 weight, even though that's hard for Conor. That was his decision to go up. It was Conor's decision to move up in weight. It was Conor's decision to keep that belt. Just because he wants a belt, he can't hold on to a belt and not defend it and make everybody else in that weight class wait. That's not fair.
Conor right now has the entire...
I love Conor and I respect him and I love what he's doing for the sport and that he's trying to do new things, but I don't think it's fair to other fighters that he wants to fight Nate again.
Well, here, let's remind everybody about what happened. Originally, Conor McGregor came up, he beat Chad Mendes, and then he fought Jose Aldo and knocked him out in 13 seconds. So after that, there was discussion of Conor McGregor moving up in his weight class to 155 pounds to fight that weight class champion who was RDA. Now,
Edgar had already wanted the fight at this point. He had already been promised it somewhat. So he had wanted the fight already at this point.
After Edgar knocked out Chad Mendes. But RDA dropped out of that fight at UFC 196. RDA was supposed to fight Conor McGregor. He broke his foot in his last training practice in the last minute and broke his foot, and then everything went downhill. Now, luckily, Dana White made a couple phone calls. He offered Jose Aldo the rematch, but it wasn't at 145. Conor was already, up in the weight class. They had 11 days to do this fight. So luckily, Nate Diaz took the fight. So what happened at UFC 196? First round, Conor McGregor gets in there. Everyone's expecting a knockout. He goes in there, throws haymaker after haymaker, connects. We got Diaz just bleeding profusely out of his face. Everyone races to their feet. The end of that round happens. Round 2, Conor gets in there. He's throwing the same punches, but he's gassed out. And then Nate connects with Conor, stumbles Conor for a second, and then gets him up to the cage, starts pounding him, and then Conor went to his stomach and got rear naked choke, lost the fight. So now Conor is now obsessed with that fight, is dying to get that rematch, and he's granted it for UFC 200. Here's the problem. Everyone's talking, oh, Holly should get the rematch with Miesha. No. None of this should even be happening. Aldo should be getting the rematch at UFC 200 against Conor McGregor. If you're giving it already to Conor McGregor to fight Diaz again, no, Aldo is way more deserving than any of these other fighters. I understand Dana wants to break. It's UFC 200. We got to make a big card. There's no doubt that if you put Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo on that card, that it's going to be a blowout either way. But props to Dana. Now we got Jose versus Edgar, Conor versus Diaz. Who do you think's going to be the co-main event on UFC 200? Everyone's talking about GSP versus Lawler.
Yeah, but GSP doesn't want to step on Rory McDonald's toes, so he really doesn't want to take that fight.
Kenny Florian was quoted on Fighter and the Kid with Brendan Schaub earlier this week on Monday or Tuesday, I'm pretty sure, that GSP didn't want to take this fight. He wants a super fight, but he doesn't want to step on Rory's toes. He doesn't want to take that chance away from Rory and getting Rory versus Lawler 3. So, good looks GSP, and Kenny also mentioned and was quoted saying that he believes GSP will be coming back to fight, but after UFC 200. And as for CM Punk, we have CM Punk also in the news. We've been waiting for CM Punk to fight, waiting. He just had surgery. They had Dana White looking for a fight where they found Mickey Gall. Remember that? Mickey Gall did a rear naked choke. And then we had Mickey Gall fight Michael the Truth Jackson, who's also a UFC reporter. And he defeated him the same way by rear naked choke. CM Punk got in the cage. And CM Punk's quoted saying that there's only a 10% chance of him fighting at UFC 200. Now, the question is, do we even care at this point to see CM Punk fight? It's been such a long time. Are you excited as a CM Punk fan to see him fight after waiting this long, or has everything really just died down?
Personally, for me, it's pretty much died down. I mean, I just think that he didn't really think about all the effort that he was going to have to put in.
He wasn't
all the hard work
expecting, yes.
it was going to take. And
he announced it
really
too
had
soon.
to put his whole heart and life and dedication into it. And it's not, I feel like he's this person that likes to do many different things and likes the fame and all that.
But he announced his UFC arrival too early. He wasn't quite ready for it.
Yeah, we've heard about it so many times.
And now he's fighting a nobody.
I feel like he's scared, and Mickey Gall definitely has potential. I think he should definitely get a fight, if not for CM Punk.
He's a real young kid with a lot of talent.
Keep making him wait. So if he doesn't fight at UFC 200 and he's not ready soon, I feel like we should move past that. And he's had his chance pretty much. If he really wanted to do it, that's on him.
I agree. And our last news for the week, once again, you're listening to PureEVil MMA with your host, Eddie Evil Boy, and Andrea. And our last news for the week, John Bones got pulled over, got 5 tickets. You can find this video on YouTube. It's the police body cam. He got pulled over for revving his engine at a red light. The cops saw that, pulled him over, and it kind of seemed like he was busting his balls. It's a traffic violation. It's a ticket. And the judge said that it's breaking his probation, that he wasn't supposed to get in any more trouble. He was kind of mouthing off a little bit to the cop. But then again, the cop wasn't being that professional and kind of giving Bones a little attitude. Not to mention, it seemed like he was harassing him.
True, but if John Bones knew that it was being recorded, he knew the things were happening. If he hadn't spoken like that, things would have looked a lot more positive in his side. Things would have looked a lot more better for him.
And right now,
I would have been angry too. I understand that, but he should have been an adult and held himself together and said, you know what, this isn't fair.
That's not John Bones, but I agree with you. That's what an adult should do.
He sees that he's been getting in trouble, that people have been treating him unfairly. So if I were in his shoes, I would be doing everything I could do to make sure that I was doing the best and that they couldn't put me down for anything, you know.
John Bones, here's a message to you. I'm not DC, but here's a message from PureEVil MMA. Man, I understand that you're down in Albuquerque, New Mexico, but you should not be driving. And I know everyone's tired of hearing that, but I know that you just revved your engine. We all do it. You have a really nice car. You're young. You're the same age I am. You revved your engine. The cops are... But you got to expect these cops to be watching you, man. Everyone has their eye on you, dude. We want to see this fight against you versus DC. Personally, DC makes a point, you know, he's not doing what he should be doing. But then again, is it fair to say that if he just revved his engine? I'm not one to say that John Bones isn't doing the right thing. But in court, he was told by the judge that he has to do 60 more hours of community service. He has to take an anger management class. And he also has to take driver improvement courses. So Ariel said on Twitter that according to sources close to John Bones Jones, that they are confident that this will be resolved soon and it will not affect his match against Daniel Cormier at UFC 197, which is on this girl's birthday, April 23rd, coming up very soon. Well, you're listening to PureEVil MMA. If you guys have any questions, you can find me, Eddie Evil Boy, on Twitter at Evil, EVIL, _Echo, ECCO. And here is
Andrea Jablonski. You can find me on Twitter at NeverFadeAway. That's NEVERFAD3AWAY.
And for the Evil Boy fans and the PureEVil fan club, this is Eddie and Andrea signing out. Goodbye, guys.
Have a great day.